Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Daisy Diaries. Today I am joined with one of my best friends, Gayana. I'm so excited to have her here.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
I am happy that we're doing this together because I really do value the conversations and the friendship that I have with Gayana. And she is probably one of the most loyal, caring, giving persons I've ever met in my entire life. And we have such beautiful conversations and we have been through a lot and we have gotten closer. So I was like, I would love to have you on the podcast. And she said yes, but I will say this is her first time ever, ever on a podcast, ever doing anything like this. So I want to slowly ease into today's episode, but I'm so thankful that you're here.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you so much.
I also do want to say I am so thankful to have you as a friend. I think we were having this conversation recently too.
Yeah.
Where we had like a lovey-dovey little text message.
We did, yeah.
Where I realized that I honestly thank God that I have someone like you in my life because you have been there through every single little thing that has happened. Every time I want to talk to anybody, I'm like, Daisy. I don't think you guys understand. She's an angel. She is the best person. Sorry, I don't want to be emotional, but
Gayana.
Absolutely love you.
I think we just really have found gratitude that we found somebody that is loyal, because I feel like loyalty is royalty and it's very hard to find people like that. But I know that if I need anything, Gayana would like drop anything just to be there for me, and same here. And so it's very rare, you know. So I think it's beautiful to find somebody that you can experience life with that has your back. And I actually was just talking to her dad. Her dad is so cute because I had called Gayana crying. And I was like, I really, you guys, I genuinely was going through it. This was like in the beginning of the year when like everything was coming out, and I just needed genuine advice, and I just needed somebody. And her dad was like, can I talk to her? And I was like, Dad. And I was like, no, it's okay. And her and her family are just absolutely amazing. And so
They love you so much.
Oh, and I love them. And I'm just happy to be here. But I want you guys to get to know Gayana a little bit more. She's so mysterious online. And if you go to her Instagram, which you guys should, she has the most aesthetically pleasing Instagram ever. And for people that would just go to your social media, it's like, what does she do? You know, who does she hang out with? What does she do for work? Like all of these questions. And I feel like there's so much more to you that, you know, I think some things are meant to be private and mysterious. But I just want to have some girl talk, you know, Daisy Diaries, and, you know.
I love Daisy Diaries.
Daisy Diaries is just like, it's just like a girl's diary. And then like, I want my friends to come on here, like guests, to just feel like this is a safe place to open up. Or if you have a story to share, I wanted to create this platform for just like the people in my life to come on here and just talk. But something very interesting that Gayana told me that I actually didn't know. I was like, what else are you hiding from me? No. She told me that she has a degree in communications, and I was like, what? I knew that you went to college, but I didn't know what your degree was. So my question is just like, how many years did it take you to get your communications degree? How do you feel like it applies to you now? And how was that? I didn't go to college. So like, how was that experience going to college?
I love that question. I went straight out of high school to Cal State University.
How far is that from here?
It is 20 minutes away from here in Northridge.
Oh,
okay, I went to CSUN. Okay. So it wasn't too bad. And I knew exactly what I wanted to do right after I graduated high school. And when I picked communication, I knew that it was such a broad major that you can do anything with it. Because at first I wanted to broadcast journalism, and then I wanted to do hospital administration, and then I wanted to influencing. So I also wanted to become a lawyer. It was just,
oh my God.
It was a lot.
Wait.
And yes. Yeah.
So now how exactly did you apply your degree now?
While I was in college,
Yeah.
I started influencing, and it applied with communication.
Which is so cool.
Yes, I immediately knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
But then after influencing, and I think growing up, I wanted to do something a little bit more important.
Yeah.
Where I knew I wanted to help people.
Yeah.
And my family and I own hospices. But it definitely started after I spent 3 months in the hospital with my grandma.
Okay.
She had pancreatic cancer, and they told me she had 3 months to live, and she was in the ICU unit. As a family, and I think it was my mom's mom, so we were very, very close. And seeing, I feel like, since you would understand this, because I feel like our moms are our best friends.
Yes.
So seeing my mom not want to lose her mom made me realize how hard it's going to be throughout those 3 months. Yeah. Just seeing how much she had to suffer those 3 months at the hospital, I realized a hospice would have been better, just because we would have been by her side and she would have peacefully passed away, instead of giving her so many medications that it wasn't going to do anything.
Yeah.
So that's where I kind of got more of my passion for the hospice job. But she actually encouraged me to be an influencer, my grandma.
Oh, really?
While she was at the hospital, yeah.
Oh, that is so cute.
So I feel like that was like a highlight, or like that year, 2015, was like a big impact of my life.
That like really pushed you to do influencing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I realized I also wanted to help in different ways, just not only influencing. I know influencing helps a lot. Yeah. Online, but
like in real life.
Yes.
You want to make an impact.
Yes.
I feel like with influencing, you can for sure obviously influence people online, have a platform. But yeah, that is so true. Like in the real life, it's like, what kind of presence do you have? First, I'm so sorry that your grandma passed. I think when you go through traumatic events like that, it really puts life into perspective of being like, okay, what am I actually doing with my life? Because life is so short, and just kind of like it put into perspective to you. It was just like, the reason why I had gotten into, for those that don't know, I have a nonprofit organization, which is the Daisy DACA Foundation. I started to think, because I was like, okay, if I were to, not be here tomorrow, would I be happy with what I did in my life? Did I impact someone's life? Did I make a big change? And whenever I realized that my answer was no, I was like, okay, something needs to change. And I was like, I want to give back in the real world.
Exactly.
Not just online, because I would do like giveaways here and there, but I'm like, that isn't really like impacting. So then that inspired me to start my nonprofit. And I think it's so amazing that now you and your family own hospices and you're able to help those people out. But I think you're at the end of the day, you're doing something beautiful. And I feel like you've given a lot of comfort and love to those people that have passed. It's like a big girl job. It's a really big girl job. You guys, I remember when she first told me she was doing this, I'm like, that seems very hard. I was like, how are you doing that all yourself? And then you were training, you were doing this, you were doing that, still on social media. So I think, one, I love being inspired by my friends, because you show that you're able to not only just be an influencer and have a following and have a presence on there, but also be a real boss entrepreneur in real life, working with your family. And so I think it's super, super cool. Do you feel like it's been hard to balance, or do you feel like now you're a little bit more balanced?
At first it was, just because it was my family that was kind of it was not only me. And then my dad ended up having a really big like health scare issue. So I told him I'll take over. Yeah. So since last year I've been taking over, and it was definitely very hard.
Yeah, no, I remember I was like, how is she about to, like, it's like a really big job. Yeah. That's like big boss Shit, sorry, I'm on a cusp.
I was like, speak for yourself. Your DACA Foundation. I feel like that also inspired me to just keep going.
Oh, really?
Yes, absolutely. I always tell my parents like how my dad was speaking to you and saying like, I'm so happy you guys have each other, because I think we inspire each other without even realizing.
Yeah.
I don't think we talk about it enough, but now thinking about it, I'm like, Daisy inspires me so much with just even little things.
Aww.
Or just like we were talking about this today too, where you bring me out of my shell, because I can be very closed off, but
I think it's so cute though, because you're very reserved and closed off, but I've gotten to know the real you, and I'm just thankful that I'm that friend or that person in your life that gets to bring you out of your shell, because you're very spontaneous. You can be very spontaneous and fun, and like you go with the flow. I just feel like it definitely takes like the right person to take that out of you.
Yes, I agree.
And it makes me feel good, because I'm like, okay, well, I love the friendship and the dynamic that we have. Gayana and I were recently talking about the black cat and golden retriever relationship dynamic, and how that is like, that's how a successful relationship turns out, is because of that dynamic. And Gayana and I were like, well, we're both black cats, so we need like a golden retriever boyfriend. But then we were like, I don't know if we would like a golden retriever boyfriend. And then it made me realize, I'm like, wait, in Gayana and I's friendship, I'm the golden retriever and she's the black cat. But I never thought that I would be a golden retriever in any.
When you told me this, I never thought about it until...
I never thought about it either. Yeah. But I was like, wait, no, yeah, because the golden retriever is like the spontaneous, outgoing, one, and then the black cat is a little bit more reserved. So it's like, that's why it balances each other out. So I was like, oh, I'm the golden retriever in our relationship, which I think is cute. I love it.
No, I love it too, because you bring out the less black cat of me.
But we're definitely both black cats, I feel like, in our lives.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I love what you were doing, and I literally cannot wait to be there throughout your entire journey. I just love the way that our friendship and just our life has like slowly developed, and we've been there through everything. I think it's also so crazy because we got our first time ever like hanging out for consecutive days was when we booked a very spontaneous trip to New York, and it was so much fun.
So much.
We did so much, and we really just like feel like let ourselves loose and have fun. And we were like, you know what, we don't need a man to book this really expensive hotel, because here's the thing, Gayana and we were like texting, and we were like, okay, where should we stay at? Like, we're looking at hotels, we're sending each other hotels, and we find the most beautiful hotel ever, the Baccarat Hotel. But then
so nice.
We look at the price and we're like, I was like, well, and then I was like, we were like, no, let's pick this one. But then I was like, Gayana, like this one's just so pretty. And Gayana was like, nah, we should get it. And I was like, I'll do it if you do it. So then we ended up splitting it, and it's a very, luxurious hotel. So we were just like, fuck it. Like we're only young ones, and
it was our first trip.
It was our first trip.
Yeah.
And we were like, let's just do it. And then we were in New York, and we were just having so much fun that we were like, let's extend another night. And then we ended up extending our trip, and then we ended up at the Plaza Hotel, which was so beautiful.
So nice.
So beautiful. And one thing about Gayana and I is we love tea time.
Yes.
We love tea time.
I miss our tea time.
We had tea time oh my God. Wait, no, it wasn't this trip. No. Oh, it was about to trip me out, because I was like, but I was just here like 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, yes.
I've come to LA very often, and every time I'm here, I obviously try to hang out with Gayana, and we love to go to find new tea places that will serve us like they give you like a little tower with like little different bites, and we will rate them.
They're so good. Well, some are really good, and then some are questionable. And
then we end up turning into like these chef critics, because we're like, oh, we like the tanginess and and we're like, we are talking like we know what we're talking about, but then we don't.
And there's so much. You're like, how are we going to finish this? Because they bring 2 separate towers.
Oh yeah, not just one, but 2. But we love to just do very feminine, girly things. We love to shop. We love to have tea time. I feel like we bring out the more feminine side of each other as well.
Yeah.
And I think like everybody needs that kind of friendship in their life.
I agree. I feel like we spoil each other.
We do. You spoil me way too much, Gayana.
No. You spoil me.
I think that's a part of. I have learned that in your culture, I can literally be like, I don't know if like it's just an Armenian thing or Middle Eastern thing where I'm like, oh my God, Gayana, I really like your earrings, and she'll be like, oh, you like them? Here, take them. I'm like, oh my God, I love the way you smell. She's like, oh, here's a link. You want me to buy it? I got you. And I'm like, Gayana. I'm like, no. But I've noticed that a lot. You guys are so giving. And I think it's so beautiful. I went over to her aunt's house. We were going to just have like a cute little dinner. You guys, her aunt, oh my God. We were supposed to go out.
Yes.
But we ended up staying in, little hookah vibe, just like, you know, they bring out a couple trays of like, it was like little snacks here and there, and then more trays kept coming, and then more trays kept coming, and then the watermelon with the tahini, and I was like, oh my God. I'm like, it didn't stop there. And then I was like, okay. So then I was eating a little bit, and then the real food came, and I was like, I thought that was the real food.
Oh no. We prepare snacks, and then we do the dinner food, and then we have more snacks after.
Yeah, I was not prepared.
Yeah.
Because we sat down and I was already so full.
I wish you came to my birthday because literally I had catering. I ordered catering. Yes. So I had this whole table of food. My mom didn't think it would be enough. So she brought out like lobster tails and like, what is she made like a shrimp cocktail, and she made so much food where I was like, who's gonna eat this?
I just think it's like, is it just part of your culture that it's like you rather like, I don't know, where does that come from?
I think it also it depends on the family, or like depends, because I feel like my mom aunts are very much like that. I have been in households who have been Armenian and they're not similar. Like they're more like little smaller portions and which I understand.
Yeah, it just depends.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it depends on the family, but I think I was raised like that because of my mom.
Yeah.
So even if she came home and I don't have a cute little table set up, she'd be like, I'm surprised.
Really?
I'm disappointed.
Oh my God. No, I can see that, because then we ordered pastas and pizza, and then your aunt goes, my pasta's better. We're eating, and I turn around and she's literally making a homemade pasta, and I'm like, there is no way. And then it's like, they're like, what do you want to drink? And I was like, oh, I'm okay with water. They come with the Gatorade, a water, a vitamin water, and I was like, I'm in heaven right now. No, I think it's so cool that I get to experience your culture. I can't wait until you come like to one of my family gatherings, because we're the same way in a sense of like, this is how my mom is, right? You get there, even if like, for example, whenever they were working on our house, my mom goes out and offers the workers like, do you want water? Do you want this? Do you want that? She'll cut up snacks, whatever. So she also taught me that, because whenever I was getting my closet built, every time he would get there, I would have a water set up, and then I would like kind of go in and I'll be like, do you want something? Or I'll have like fruit cut up. But you know what? I remember I was talking to a guy and he's like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm cutting up some fruit for the guy that's fixing my closet. And he got so mad and offended. And I was like, why? He was like,
it's like hospitality.
Yeah, it's like a hospitality thing, right? And he was like, he's going to think you like him. And I'm like, no, he has been working with our family for years. I'm like, and if it was just, it's just kind of like a act of kindness.
It is.
Right? So I don't see it as like, so I was like, you're not the one.
Yeah. I feel like that's his own insecurity.
Yeah, right? Yeah, because I was like, I would do that for even strangers. So I cannot wait until you come.
I can't wait.
I feel like everyone on the internet has seen that my family loves to party. My family loves to party.
Oh yeah.
And we will have a full, even if we're just doing like, my family loves to do cookouts on like random days. It could be a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. My family will have a full bar cart set up with lemons cut up with tajin, chamoy.
Wow.
We'll have carne asada. We'll sometimes even do, if we don't do like carne asadas, we'll do like seafood boils, or we'll do like fish.
Wow.
So I think our family, specifically my mom's side of the family, we bond through like making food for each other. I don't know if it's the same way for you guys.
Yeah.
But just everyone sitting at the dinner table, everyone brings something. Like my mom will like cook the meat, and then I'll have like an aunt bring like fresas con crema, which is strawberries with what is fresas con crema? It's like
strawberry, sour cream, and sugar.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
It's so good though. If you never tried it, it's so good.
No, I haven't tried it.
Yeah, so I'm thankful that I've gotten to experience your culture, because I'm gonna go back and tell all my family what I did this entire week.
I know you were like taking pictures and sending it to your mom, and
She was like, provecho. Yeah, no, it's cute.
I wish she was there.
I feel like our moms would get along so well, but it's just the language barrier. But
My
it's fine.
mom knows how to speak Spanish.
Really?
I just don't.
I'm like, damn it. No, wait, that's so cute. Yeah, I'm like, when are they gonna meet? I feel like maybe. Ooh, you know when they're gonna meet?
When?
My launch party.
I'm
We're
so
keeping that a
excited.
secret, but my launch party is coming very soon for something very special.
So excited for that.
So excited for that too.
So excited.
I can't wait. Oh, I was about to say something. I was about to leak it myself. So my other, now that we're talking about cultures and stuff, would you ever date outside of your culture, or do you feel like dating in your culture is like something that you want to stick to?
That's a great question. I think I'm open to dating outside of my culture, but I just at the
end of the day,
yeah, I think I see myself with an Armenian guy.
Especially because I feel like the beliefs and the values and the language and all that.
I don't want to say it's easier.
Yeah.
I would say that it's just what I'm attracted to.
No, I get you.
Yeah.
Because I tried, recently, I talked to somebody that wasn't a part of my culture, and I've never been closed off to it, but if I'm being completely honest, I don't think I could ever date someone that doesn't know Spanish, because none of like my aunts and uncles, my mom, my grandparents, none of them know any other language but Spanish.
Wow.
And I feel like you really do get to bond whenever you share the same beliefs or language.
It's so true. You're right.
Yeah. And I was in a relationship where he didn't know Spanish, and I would have to sit there and translate everything. And I could just tell that they just weren't connecting. And I was like, oh, like that really made me realize that, like, you know, if I get married, and when I do get married, I really hope, and I would love for my husband to know Spanish. And if he doesn't, then, like, you know, if I really do love someone and they obviously, like, I don't speak their language, I feel like out of love, I would do that for them and like learn their language.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I think, being honest, I don't think I would date outside of my culture, but I would be open to it if I'm like genuinely like head over heels.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
which is rare. I feel like once you have that rare type of person in your life, and
I feel like there's really no, like, you would do anything for them.
Yeah.
But we both haven't encountered that yet.
No.
But we will.
Yes.
Hopefully. I'm like, Gayana's dating life is very private, and I love that you like to keep it that way. I think some part of me sometimes I sometimes regret not keeping my love life private, because a lot of outside voices really tend to dictate a lot of things in your relationship. But I think moving forward, I would for sure keep my relationship, like a serious relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, offline.
I also think it's hard because you have such like a social media presence. So everyone, you've been online for a very long time, since high school, right?
Yeah, I started my social media career when I was 17.
Wow.
No, I started my career in 2017.
Really?
In 2017, yeah.
Wow.
I was still in high school. No, wait, what am I talking about? Wait. I started my social media career when I was a senior in high school. So
Yes.
I don't know if I was 17 or 18, but I just know that I was a senior in high school. So yeah, my life has been on the internet since I was a senior in high school, and it has been a roller coaster, to say the least, because the people that have been there since the beginning have seen so many different versions of me. They have seen me make a lot of mistakes. They have seen me grow into the beautiful person that I am today. So I don't regret anything that I've ever done in life because I feel like it has made me the person that I am today. But I do sometimes wish that I would have kept some things offline, especially my love life, because people get so invested.
They do.
In your love life, especially, I think because like, especially if you're like coupled up, like Love Island, for example.
Oh, man.
You see how like invested people get, especially when there's love involved. And if people are able to just get a snippet of it, it's just like, I don't know what it is with the world that they just get so infatuated with couples.
I also think it's because they want to believe they're going to have something like that at the end
or
of the
that
day.
true love does exist.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so like when these super famous online couples break up, it almost feels like you also went through the breakup.
Yes.
So yeah.
It's hard because you've shared it. So I don't want to say people expect it, but that's how they.
But it's true.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, being an influencer is sharing your life. So you can't be mad at people for feeling entitled to, you know, have answers to questions. Or it's like, even up to this day, people still ask me why me and this person ended. And to me, it's just like, it's no one's business. But I'm like, ooh, like I did have a super public relationship. I had a couples channel with this person. So, you know, but then at the end of the day, I'm like, well, some things are just not meant to be shared online.
But you grew from it.
I grew from it. And I'm like, you know what? Just moving forward, I think the things that are very sacred to me and I hold very close to my heart, I'm going to keep offline because it is a little bit harder, especially if that person's no longer in your life. It's like it's going to be brought up for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. That's why I always think about it when celebrities are dating each other and they're just always going to be in the public eye and they're always going to see that.
For example, like Hailey Bieber and Justin, love them, but they're never going to let Selena and Justin Bieber go, like, because they were such a big thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, whew, I am not showing off anyone on the internet unless there's a ring on my finger.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm not showing anyone off.
Exactly.
And it's so, I kind of want to talk about this because, do you know what I'm about to talk about?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Your little laugh said it all.
Because I recently talked to this person, and I'm going to do a little story time. Obviously, my whole life is on the internet, but I'm going to share this because Gayana was there with me. But for example, like this person that I was talking to was like wanting to be exclusive already. And it was barely like not even 3 weeks max of us talking. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is definitely a red flag. But so much more unfolded. And I talked about this on Instagram Live. So that's why I'm going to share it because it's not anything new. But basically, I went to a dinner. My friend invited me to a dinner. And this guy was at the dinner. He introduced himself to me. Really didn't pay much attention to it. We then go to the club and he comes up to me. He's like, oh, you know, like, what's your name, etc. He immediately sends me $250. And I was like, okay. You didn't know about that?
I didn't know about that.
What? So I thought this was going to be like a very intimate dinner, like 5 people. I show up and it's like a table of like 17 people. So I was like, oh crap, you know?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so the guy, like I said hi to everyone, but the guy went out of his way and was like, yo, like, why haven't you introduced me to her? And I was like, oh, like, hi, shook his hand, whatever. Wasn't really interested, you know? Not really my type, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
So then we go to the club and my friend that invited me there was like hosting, like trying to make sure everyone's good. So I was just by myself dancing. That's whenever he came up to me. He's like, oh, what's your name? I'm like, Daisy. He's like, you're so pretty. He's like, can I see your hands? So I was like, okay. That's whenever I gave him my hand and he's like, oh, yep. And then he put his number in my phone and he immediately sent me $250. Just because he's like, how much were your nails? And I was like, $200. So he sent me $250.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. That was like, period. At first I was like, thanks. I was like, okay. So I had never met a guy like that, you know? But still, like, that didn't make me, like, attracted to him. I was just kind of like, okay, cool, thank you. Like, I've had a lot of men, you know, send me gifts and stuff. But to me, it's just like, because I do provide a lot for myself, it's like, I can do that for myself already, you know? So you trying to give me money is not going to impress me. To me, it's just like, I don't really care about the materialistic things.
Yeah.
So I wasn't like, oh my gosh, like, you know, but after that, then, you know, we started talking and he's like, I really want to take you on a date. So we went on a date and the date went well. We're literally sitting across from each other like this. And my mom calls me or something and I start talking in Spanish and he's like, check your phone. And I check my phone and he sent me $200 just for talking in Spanish. Literally. So then I'm like, okay. So then he asked to see my heels and I show him my heels and he sends me more money. And I'm just like, what is going on? Like, this man right here. So you immediately would assume that he has a lot of money, right? And he did take me to a very high-end restaurant, whatever. I go back to Texas. He clearly lives in LA. And we're kind of talking, but I immediately noticed that he was already, like, becoming very dependent on me. Like, if I didn't answer his phone call, he'll then call me again and again. Or his text, then he'll text me. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, relax. And to me, it's like, that turns me off because it's like, I'm going to call you back and text you back, but you blowing me up makes me not want to even talk to you, you know?
Yeah.
So I started to become a little bit distant because he was just like too passive aggressive. I was like, chill, you know? We barely have been knowing each other for a couple of days. So then fast forward, I'm like, okay, we were able to hold I think, and this can apply maybe to the both of us, I like when we can hold conversations for hours and it's just, you know, it's very organic and it's not forced. So our conversations did not feel forced, which is what I liked. So I was kind of, you know, we weren't consistently talking, but like whenever we would talk on the phone, we would talk for like a very long time. So I was like, okay, I like his energy. I like that we can have conversations. We can talk about everything. But then he was like, oh, how would your family feel about dating somebody outside of your culture? And I was like, why are you talking about my family? I'm like, I'm not even thinking about dating you. So I was just kind of like, okay, he's moving so fast. And then he just became a little bit too needy, right? And he was already asking and requesting I do things for him. And my answer was just like, I would never do wifey things for someone who's not mine.
Exactly.
Someone who is not even my boyfriend. So I told him, I was like, respectfully, I'm not going to do that for you. And I told him, I was like, I am going to go to LA. And this is now this LA trip. I was like, I'm going to go to LA. And I also don't want you to think that all of my eggs are in your basket.
Yeah.
If we're just talking, I don't want you to think that you're the only one that I'm talking to because like I'm still single and we have just been talking for 2 weeks. I think at that point it was like 2 weeks because I spent a whole week over there.
Yeah.
And he took that as I need to do more and I need to send him more gifts and I need to do and I think he took it the wrong way and I think he became like very insecure about that. And it was just my way of being like, hey, like I just want to let you know, like you're not the only one trying to be the only one. So don't be upset if I go on another date or anything like that. And I'm very open and communicative. And so he took it the wrong way. And he started to do just way too much. And long story short, we went on a second date. And on that second date, I really realized that I just was not attracted to this man. You know, he clearly was like head over heels over me. He was already talking about, I went to your house and he invited himself to your house. He's like, what do I have to do to meet your friends? He's like, I want to be in the mix with my baby and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, absolutely not.
It's way too much.
Yeah, like him trying
too early.
Him trying to invite himself over. I was like, no. I was like, you cannot, no. That's why I was like, sir, after he invited himself, I was like, yeah, no, I have to cut him off. He's doing too much. And I don't like my time being wasted and I would hate to waste people's time. So then I was like, okay, this needs to go. So I texted him a very respectful paragraph. I sent it to you. I sent everything to Gayana.
Oh, yeah.
If you do something to me, Gayana's going to know about it. And I'm going to send her screenshots and I'm going to call her right away. So I sent her a screenshot and I was just very respectful. I was like, you know, I just don't think this is going to work out. No hard feelings. You're a great guy. Like, hope you understand. fully freaked out. Text, calling me. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And then this is what really upset me, because he was like, I hope you at least have enough respect to see me before you leave or to reply back. And I was like, excuse me? I don't owe you anything. I don't owe you an explanation. I don't even owe you a text back, because it's just like he just immediately felt so entitled. So then after that, I was like, look, now I'm going to be kind of a bitch, because now I have to tell you how it really is for you to understand that this is dead. So I was like, you need to stop dragging it on. Like, there's no need to water something that's dead. I was like, again, no hard feelings. Great guy. I hope you understand.
Respectful.
Respectful.
Yeah.
He then sends me $900.
Oh, how did I forget this?
And I was like, thank you, but this is not going to make me want you. Like, I don't know. I think him giving out money and gifts to women is how he maybe manipulates them into staying, or gets with women like that.
I think he would probably lie and say that's my love language, but I think that's a complete insecurity.
Yeah, I think that's an insecurity as well, because I feel like a lot of men that are wealthy use their wealth as power to manipulate women, to sleep with women, just sometimes not for the right reasons.
Yeah.
I think because a real man, if he has money like that, he knows that he's going to attract a lot of gold diggers, for example. And if he doesn't want to attract that, then he's not going to give that in the first date or whatever it is, right? So anyways, Gayana and I end up going out to bowling with some friends.
Yes. Yeah.
And I just so happened to see his assistant at the bowling, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm over here like kicking, and I was like, the assistant's here. And she's like, oh no. And I was like, crap. I was like, maybe he's gonna text the guy that I'm there, he's gonna come. He then comes up to, and good thing we stayed, because Gayana and I we left.
Can we say why we stayed?
Yeah.
For the fries.
Oh yeah, we did. We stayed for the fries, because as we were walking out, we saw somebody order French fries, and I was like, Gayana. I was like, let's just have some French fries and then we'll leave. We ordered some French fries. And then I think by this time, like, everybody was like drinking and stuff. So I think that's why his assistant had the courage to come up to me and was just like, hey, like, can you just be very transparent as to why you cut him off? Because he's like very upset. And I was like, well, what did he tell you first? And he's like, well, he told me that you were really obsessed over him, that you wanted to meet his family already, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And Gayana's and I's jaws were on the floor, and we were like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah. And I was like, oh no. I was like, okay. So then I started to tell him everything that I'm telling you guys that are listening or watching this. I told him exactly everything. And he's like, oh my God. He's like, that's so crazy. This, and that. I was like, he also said that you were his assistant. And he was like, what? He's like, I just fired him 2 weeks ago. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I literally just rehired him recently. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I was like, well, he said he had you on payroll, and he said he has a chauffeur, and it's not. We basically ended up finding out that it was all a lie, and that he was a pathological liar. And it all made sense, because this is not to like, I'm not judging, but when I saw that he was like dripped out in designer, but then a lot of things just didn't make sense in his living situation. So then I was like, something's not adding up here. And then I ended up finding out that, it just was all a lie. And I was like, oh my God. I basically got catfished. I got catfished.
That is so true.
That is true. I got catfished, but not looks wise, but like a lifestyle. And that was just like, so I'm so glad that you were there when everything was happening.
I could not believe what I was hearing.
Me either.
And it was, from the beginning, it was just kind of like, why is he sending so much money?
Yeah.
And like, I didn't understand it, because I'm like, you don't have to do that to keep a woman. You literally just have to be yourself.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Be normal and just.
But that's why we were like, something's not adding up.
Yes. So you knew something was up. And then when you told me, I was like, something's off about this guy.
Yeah, for sure.
And then when his assistant,
That is the craziest thing ever.
who's not his assistant.
No, and it all makes sense because I remember he was like so stressed out ordering a bunch of things on Postme, but I was like, why don't you ask your assistant to get them for you? I'm like, you pay him all this money. He's like, oh no, it's because he's more of a friend than he is my assistant. I was like, okay, that's not making sense. Mm-mm. And then like, yeah, no, it's just like, I learned my lesson, but it was such a crazy, I was very overwhelmed, honestly, because it also even had me thinking, I'm like, that was the second guy that I attracted that did this kind of the same thing, because the one before him literally was almost the exact same thing, where I ended up finding out that like that wasn't his house, that wasn't his car. So I'm like, I think I became very overwhelmed, because even, remember you were like, I think God or the universe puts people into your life so that like the same situation so you can learn a lesson from it. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, what is the lesson that I'm supposed to learn from this? So it got me thinking, like,
I also think they see such a beautiful woman that is so like you're so lighthearted and so happy and so energetic. Like when you said you're like golden retriever vibe, like you have that energy that they're attracted to, and they want so badly to be you in some ways. They want that around them. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just because they see you in that light, they want to be you. So they want to leech off of you or like take your energy. And the fact that you're so strong and you don't let that happen says a lot. And I feel like it might be a lesson, but it also is kind of like, now thinking about it, you get out of it really easily.
I do.
Without your energy going to them. Yeah. You still keep your energy to yourself.
And they get so, I think the thing, I don't know what it is, I kid you guys not, every time I talk to someone new, a couple of days into it, they're like, I don't know what you did to me. I'm just so obsessed with you. I can't sort of, it's like you did a spell on me or something. And I just get a little bit freaked out by it, because it's like, I don't do anything but just be myself. But I think it also might be that because I have my shit together and because I bring a lot to the table, I feel like they feel the need to maybe lie or something so that they get that validation from me. But it's like, I don't know what it is. But I am so detached that it's like I can so easily like detach myself from people and situations. Yeah. Yeah.
But you're right when you say they need validation, because they see a successful woman and they see that you have everything together and they don't even know half of it, how much you do. But seeking validation from you is going to make them feel better.
That is very true.
Wow.
But I think I've realized that, because even the last two guys put together, they clearly just weren't on the same level, but they made it seem like they were. So it made me feel like, oh, they're the leaders, they're going to be the masculine, they're going to lead me. And then once the cover was off, it was like, oh.
That's not you.
That's not. I think very successful, strong, independent women tend to really just trigger and intimidate insecure men. And then that can either make them seek validation from the strong woman or make them resent the strong woman, and then they start to compete with the strong woman.
Yes.
And it's, oh my God, it's just like, that sounds like a personal problem, you know?
It also brings them joy when they try to tear you down.
I know. I've learned my lesson. I really have. Maybe that's the lesson to be learned, is that I need to just, also I just need to, I'm such a I've learned to not be a people pleaser anymore. I feel like that's something that we've talked about, just always saying yes and learning how to say no.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about this, like what your therapist had said. I don't know if you want to share it with them as to why we always feel the need to say yes, even though knowing that we want to say no.
So before, I think we were people pleasers. And growing out of it, I feel like the older you get, the more you realize how much that drains your energy, and you have to worry about yourself and think about yourself first, because you are important.
Yeah.
You need to put yourself first and stop putting yourself last.
Yeah.
especially when there's a male energy involved. She also said you have to speak your truth because regardless of what that person might think of what you're about to say to them, you can't be attached to the outcome.
Yeah.
You have to be truthful to yourself and aware that you said what you needed to say and move on.
Yeah. I think we become very attached to the outcome and we're scared to hurt the other people's feelings. I think we also as human beings hate rejection. And so we have felt that and we don't want the other person to feel that. But again, that's putting other people's feelings before ours.
First, exactly.
Yeah. Now, I mean, just like I cut this guy off, I was like, okay, I've learned the hard way that I need to put my feelings first.
Yeah.
And it sucks because I do think he's a great guy. I'm like, I'm definitely not the one for you. And I don't care if I hurt your feelings because you need to work on yourself. Somebody said that I came into this world and I was meant to meet a lot of different people to teach them lessons and that I tend to be like a reflection of who they are so they can learn how to grow from that. And I think that's why I'm so easily able to detach myself because I'm like, okay, cool, my work here's done next. And you know what's a perfect example? I don't think I've ever talked about this.
Yeah.
I went to a bar and I saw this very handsome guy and I'm like, oh my God, like why is he working at this place? Like he's so beautiful. I'm like, you could be working for a magazine or something. And so I then told my friend, I was like, oh my God, I think he's so cute. She went and got his number and we went on a date. And, you know, long story short, I basically told him, I was like, hey, like, you know, I really think you could be working at a higher end restaurant. I'm like, you're so, you know, attractive and you're so handsome. He's like, really? Like, I don't think I am. I was like, why do you think I went up to you? I was like, you need to be confident. I was like, I definitely think you should do it. I was like, just try it out. I'm like, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
2 days later, he sends me a message. He's like, hey, like, I just want to say thank you so much. He got accepted to one of the most high-end restaurants in Dallas.
Wow.
And he was making so much more money than he was living, I think, with like 4 roommates.
Wow.
With him making that money and the tips and everything. And I told him, I was like, all the beautiful ladies are going to be tipping you so well because you're so attractive. I'm like, you're going to be making double the money. And he's like, I just want to say thank you. And I was like, oh, of course, like, blah, blah, blah. And he then texted me again like 2 weeks later. And he's like, hey, I just want to let you know that I actually was able to move out of the apartment with my roommates and now I have my own place. And I was like, oh my God, I love that for you.
Amazing.
And then he tried to ask me out on another date and I was like, no. Wait, but wait.
Where is this going?
Wait. But this is what I mean. I'm just so detached that I was like, no, like my work here is done. Like
You're just doing God's work with
you're
men.
doing God's work. That got me so hot. I don't want people to take that the wrong way. But it's because it's true, because to me it was just like I was like, he wanted to take me out on another date, but I'm like, I think we could be really cool friends. But I think from the first date, I already knew that me and him would not work out in a relationship because he had a lot of working. He needed to work a lot on himself because he kept saying that he's like, oh, I look up to you. You're so inspiring. And I was just kind of like, I don't know if I want to be with somebody like that, because he had a lot of potential, you know, but I'm like, I have a lot going on in my life and I don't think I want to be with someone who's still working on themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to already be healed and have gone through those trials and tribulations, and it's like, and then we get together. So that's why I was like, look, if it's meant to be, our paths will cross again.
Yeah.
But I knew that he needed to go through that journey by himself to really figure out, because he told me other personal stuff that I'm not going to say on here. So I was like, I think he just really needs to focus on himself in this new journey, and I'm so thankful that I was able to help guide him. And I kid you, that's what I feel like. I meet these people and then I'm meant to like do something in their life, like either, you know, I don't know what it is, but
like an angel, honestly.
I
think of you as an angel.
I think, I don't know. I think of, yeah, okay. Let's just call it that. But yeah, after he wanted to see me again, I just never replied back, and he never hit me up. And I know exactly at what restaurant he's working at, but I just refused.
You haven't been since?
No, I haven't.
Go and visit him.
And you know what's even crazier is that he had no idea who I was. So he didn't know until we went on the first date, and somebody came up to me to ask me for a picture, and he was like, who are you? And I was like, I am nobody. He's like, can I search you up on social media? And I was like, please don't. I was like, just accept me for me. I'm like, I love to meet people in real life. And I have never gone on a date with the person that I have never met in person. Have you ever gone on a date with somebody you've met?
In person?
I have only ever gone on dates with people that I've met online. I like in human interactions versus.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
About in
person.
In person.
Yeah.
But I feel like I haven't met anyone in person. It's always been online.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I also think I'm always home. That's why. I don't leave my house.
Gayana, how are we supposed to find you, your love of your life, if you don't leave your house? No, my mom told me the same thing.
You know what? We just need each other. So we'd be going out. Maybe to the right places, not the wrong places.
Yeah, you're right. You're so right. No, it is true. And you know what? I don't know. I feel like especially dating nowadays, it just can be very draining. Mm-hmm. But then again, if you don't put yourself out there, then it's like, how are you going to meet people? Yeah. It's just a balance.
It's hard.
It is.
I don't date much, so.
I know. You know, we're literally the opposite. We're so opposite, but it works out so beautifully because Gayana is not a dater and I'm like a serious dater. Uh-huh. And I'm very extroverted. I'm like super like in your face and like loud and just like very like here. And Gayana's like, but then I love that we just balance each other out. But no, you're right.
Because every time you call me with like a new story, I'm like, I'm here for this. Let's debrief this. I'm learning so much. And I'm not going on a date ever because of this.
No, I have the craziest. I have the craziest story times ever for Gayana.
I love it.
It just keeps the friendship fun, you know.
Yeah. Yes.
And I can't wait for more trips.
Yes.
It's summertime. We have to go somewhere.
Yeah.
You've never been to Miami?
If I'm going to Miami, it's only with you.
If anyone on this earth is going to Miami, they have to go with the Daisy because you will have so much fun. We actually do need to plan it though.
Yeah. We plan it right after.
Yeah, no, because dude, the men in Miami are way better than LA. I just feel like LA and the men here, I mean, honestly though, that could be anywhere.
It just depends on the person.
Yeah, and depends who you hang out with. But I have some really genuine friends in Miami. Mm-hmm. If you were to come to Miami, I would have you around the best people ever. I would never put you in an environment where you feel uncomfortable, or in danger. And I'm very mindful of my friends and, you know, how they move about in their life. And I feel like you have made me way more mindful of, like, my friends' feelings and my family and just...
Really?
Yeah. I'm telling you, I feel like we just teach each other, like, new things about or, like, become more aware of specific things.
Because I feel like I'm more observant and I like tend to observe every little thing. And then you bring out the side of me where it's just like, it's fine. You're like, be comfortable, have fun. Yeah. These are my people. Or if you're around, I feel like you're also around my family. I tend to get into that role because I'm like, just family. Or if I meet, if you meet my friends or something like that, I feel like I would get into that role. But I understand, like, we switch roles sometimes.
Yeah, we do. And it happens so organically. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, but like if I feel like every time we go out anywhere, I just make sure that you feel safe and comfortable at all times. And I'm like, and I love that we both are like, we can go. If you don't want to be here, we can go. And we're both like, okay, let's go. Yeah. And we just had this really cute moment where Gayana came over to my hotel room and we had this conversation where like we both were a little bit hesitant about something, but we didn't want to like vocalize it. And then we both realized that we were both feeling the same way. And we were like, okay, moving forward, let's be super open and honest and transparent. Like even if it's the slightest thing, I'm like, let's just be super communicative. And I think it was so beautiful because it's like we took a leap in our friendship.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Because I've always just been, if something is important to someone,
you will say yes.
I'll say yes, and I'll be in like kind of like a backseat where I'm like, this is more important. I'm going to do whatever they want because I love them. I care for them. I would do anything for them. Yeah. And I wouldn't think about my own feelings.
Yeah, you disregard your feelings. And that's why I told you. I was like, no, So you can be very honest with me. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I'm like, I'd rather you be comfortable. And I also want, you know, the same way, like for both of us to be transparent.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know that about you. I know that when you really love someone, you would do anything for them. But that doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice your feelings. So I love that we had that open conversation.
Yeah.
We're just staring into each other's souls like, yeah. Oh my gosh. Well,
I feel like this week, especially, I've seen you almost every single day.
Almost every single day. We were just like bubblegum stuck to each other, okay?
It reminds me of New York because it was probably my first ever impulsive, like,
spontaneous trip.
Yeah. Spontaneous
I love it though.
Yeah.
No, and you were able to really like get out of your comfort zone. I was able to see like, I feel like we both were able to see also like how we work together, and we're just so easygoing.
Yeah.
So easygoing. We could be on our phones in complete silence. And I feel like those are the best friendships, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're comfortable.
You're comfortable.
Yourself.
You're safe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love that about us. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on Daisy Diaries.
Thank you so much for having me.
And hopefully, I love you so much. And hopefully you come back in the future. Who knows? But
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys so much for listening to this. Thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode, and I will be seeing you guys next week. Also, I will have Gayana's links down below. Please check out her Instagram. It's absolutely beautiful and aesthetically pleasing. Okay. Love you guys. Bye.